Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This time I've decided to film another get ready with me video for all my back to school girls who are finally back on that study grind, and trust me, I feel you, I'm not a morning person or a school person. So first things first, coffee and then primer. And I'm using the Reviva Labs Makeup Primer. And on top of that, I'm going to start with Shea Moisture Weightless Shea Serum Foundation. This foundation has a natural finish and I'm using the shade Nude. And I'm mixing that with Maybelline Fit Me Dewy and Smooth Foundation in the shade 235 Pure Beige onto a little cocktail in the back of my hand. Then I'm just going to dot that all over my skin. And the brush that I'm using is a Morphe M439 Kabuki brush. And I'm just blending that in all over my skin. I'm not too worried about covering any blemishes. I know I do have a few little things my skin's been acting up lately, but for a day-to-day look, I just like to give my skin more color and shine than anything. I like to have a little luminosity in my skin and in my foundation, and it keeps me looking dewy and glowy the entire day. And if you need to cover any blemishes, go ahead and take a little concealer and spot treat that concealer. Then I'm taking a Real Techniques beauty sponge and I'm just blending that in all over my face. Be careful with your beauty sponge because they can tend to pick up like 60% of your foundation or product in the beauty sponge, so I like to wet it and make it really damp and then use it so it doesn't pick up all your product. Next I'm using the Ben Nye Media Pro HD Shadow Wheel in the shade SK3 and a Duo Fiber brush. You can use any Duo Fiber brush that you have, and I'm just putting this on my contour bronzing areas as a cream bronzer, and this honestly is the easiest and fastest way for me to get ready in the morning or on a day-to-day basis, so I like this cream product, plus it stays on your skin the whole day. So the next products I'm going in with are L'Oreal True Match Concealer and Maybelline Age Rewind Concealer. The Maybelline is the Illuminator shade, which has a little bit of a pinky undertone to cancel out dark circles, and the L'Oreal True Match is in the shade Fair or Light. And I'm just putting those in the highlighted areas. And I chose to do this tutorial based off of drugstore or affordable products. Not everything that I am using is from the drugstore, but it is affordable. And there's nothing wrong with affordable makeup, especially on a day-to-day basis when there's no need to be spending hundreds of dollars on makeup that you're basically just wasting away because it's going to melt off your face during the day anyways. And I'm blending this out with the same Real Techniques beauty sponge, and it's really damp. And this is the best trick that you could ever do with your foundation or cream products, is using your brush and then using your Real Techniques or any beauty sponge, beauty blender that you have. It gives the most natural looking, flawless finish. And then I'm just gonna set that with the NYX HD Studio Photogenic Finishing Powder in the shade Translucent. And this is the first time I'm using this to set my under eyes, but what I usually use is the Laura Mercier highlighting powder, I think is what it's called. But this was actually pretty good quality. I did notice, now that I'm looking back at this footage, that it does look a little splotchy as I'm applying the powder, but in person it didn't look splotchy at all. I think when I go over it with a face powder, it just kind of blends out all that splotchiness, and I didn't even notice until I was filming this video. But this HD powder is really affordable and it's really good quality to have from the drugstore. I think I picked it up at Ulta. And now I'm using the L'Oreal True Match Super Blendable Powder in the shade W6 Sun Beige, and I'm using that with just a Duo Fiber stippling brush. And I chose to use a stippling brush because I wanted more of a light powdery finish and nothing heavy. I still want the luminosity to my skin. Then I'm going in with NYC Sun to Sun bronzing powder in the shade Bronze Gold. And this is the first time that I've actually ever used this powder. I bought it a long time ago for, I think just for fun. I think they had a sale or something and I bought it, but it's actually really nice. The bronzer itself, it doesn't have glitter, but it has some sheen and shimmer to it. So it's really pretty during the day. I feel like it's like a really girly bronzer, and it's pretty in the daylight and in the sunlight. Next, I'm using this blush palette that I picked up. I think I was at Marshall's or TJ Maxx or something, and I picked up this blush palette, and I will say, it's better than, the quality is better than more than half of the products that I have from Sephora or name brand products, and the pigmentation is just unreal. If I can find the brand or the link to this, I think it literally says blush palette on the front. I don't think there's a brand or anything, but if I can find it, I'll link it for you guys. It's so inexpensive. I think it was like $6, and it's definitely worth the money. Next, I'm taking this NYX eyebrow shaper. It's a wax pencil, and I'm just waxing at my eyebrows to help those hairs stay in place. And I'm just blending that out and combing my eyebrows with a little brow brush. And then I'm using ColourPop Brow Color in the shade Dope Taupe. And I'm basically just filling in the sparse areas and giving myself a little bit more of an arch. I have more of an arch on one eyebrow than the other. And you guys are seeing my eyebrows basically in the raw. Like I haven't really done anything to them this summer. I usually let them grow out all summer so they look fluffy and natural, and I could basically grow a unibrow if I wanted to, but I don't think that's a cute look, so I don't. But I'm just basically filling in all the sparse areas, and the little brush that I'm using, if I'm not mistaken, it's the Morphe E11. I'm not sure, but everything that I use will be listed in the description bar below. So now I'm just setting my brows with Maybelline Great Lash in clear, and then I'm going in with the NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in the shade Iced Mocha, and I'm using this as my eyeshadow base. I already have a little bit of concealer already on my eyelids from what was left over on my Real Techniques beauty sponge, and I'm just putting this all over and taking a flat shader brush. Any flat shader brush will do, brands do not matter, and in this tutorial, and I'm just blending out the crease, and then I'm taking a Sigma E40 blender brush and I'm doing the same thing. Then I'm going to go into a little bit of that Sun to Sun bronzer powder and using the dark shade, and I'm fluffing that all in my crease, and I'm not being precise, I'm just throwing it in the crease to have some color. Usually in the morning you won't have time to be precise, so you just throw it in there, and this is a good way to open up your eyes and give your eyes some definition. Next, I'm using these NYX Ultra Pearl Mania Loose Pigments, and I'm mixing the shade Orange Pearl and Mink Vision, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm using a flat concealer brush, and I have dipped the concealer brush into the product and then sprayed some Mario Badescu facial spray to make the product a little wet so it looks a little more metallic. This is just going to make your eyes pop. You can pick any shade that you want. I just love this copper shade. And then I'm just dusting away the excess fallout with a Duo Fiber brush. And then for a little bit of a cheek highlight, I'm using the same loose pigment, just in the shade Very Pink Pearl. And this shade that I'm going to use to highlight my cheeks and eyes is Mink Vision. It's still the NYX Ultra Pearl Mania Loose Pigment, and I'm using a Morphe brush to highlight. This is my favorite Morphe brush. It's the M501, and then I took the Beauty Blender on top of that to make it look like skin. So give your eyelashes a little curl, and I'm going to give myself a few coats of mascara using L'Oreal Voluminous Carbon Black Mascara. This is my favorite mascara from the drugstore. I've tried multiple mascaras, and it's between this and L'Oreal Telescopic, but this is the one I usually keep in my kit when I'm actually on location doing clients, weddings, or just different events, and I'll have 5 or 6 tubes of this at once, and it is hands down my favorite. So for a day-to-day routine, this is the one that I always go to. now I'm just using a Morphe M431 brush with that Mink Vision loose pigment, and I'm highlighting my inner corners, and I'm taking a little dome pencil brush and I'm running some bronzer underneath my lower lash. And I'm not really putting mascara, I'm just giving myself some shadow. And this is my favorite lip liner from the drugstore. It's NYX lip liner in the shade Natural. You can tell that I have worn this one out. I use it to death. I'm not really overlining my lips, I'm just giving my lips some shape and definition, and then I'm going to use the liner and fill in my lips so that my product that I put on top lasts all day. This is the NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream in the shade Buenos Aires, and I like to mix my lip products. And this is the Palladio Velvet Matte Cream Lip Color in the shade Raw Silk, and I'm just blending that out with my finger to kind of mix the two together. Then I'm giving myself a finishing spray with Mario Badescu Facial Spray. Then I'm going to take out my hair and just fluff it up and make it look really textured, and I'm using the Davines Sea Salt Spray. This is what I use on a day-to-day basis for my hair routine because I only wash my hair like twice a week, so this is messy and this is what I like. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!